Hey you all, also hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. I'm Confidence. In this video, we'll be making this gorgeous dress that you can see on your screen. The one you have on the left and on the right hand side, that's the orange and the purple one, are the ones I saw, and I made the one in the middle. And I'm here to show you how to make this gorgeous shoulder princess bustier dress with a nice design on the front, an extended shoulder or a kimono sleeve, a basque waistline, and a gathered skirt. So if you're interested in something like that, then watch this video to the end. From the last video, we drafted the patterns and then we transferred to the fabric. And after doing all of that, these are the pieces I came up with. And here I have the side back. I have 4 pieces of this, meaning that I'm using same fabric as a lining. Same as this center back, I have 4 pieces of that. Then I have this side front and I added ½ inch allowance all around, and I made sure that the side front and then the side back that they are the same length. Okay, and this is the center front, which I cut that on fold. Then you can see that I have 2 pieces for the center front because I'm using same fabric as the lining. Go ahead and use your choice of fabric as lining. And then I added ½ inch allowance all around except on this side, which I added 0.75. And please, after transferring your patterns to your fabric, do well to use your pattern again to see if your fabric shrinked or not, if you still have your added stitching allowance. Do you understand that? Now, this is the down part, which the one I said I would be cutting 10 inches of that, and this is the bigger one. And you can see that they are the same weight. I mentioned that I would be having about 100 inches for the gathers, and you see 25 inches here. And I have 4 pieces of this, meaning that that's exactly 100 inches. And it's the same with the shorter one. So later on, I'll be joining it like this, and I'm going to join it in a way that the selvage of the Ankara won't be visible. And I added just the right amount of allowance that would cover for both joining on the top and also on the down. Now I'll go ahead and start joining them together. I'm going to take 2 pieces of the center back like this. Then I'm going to take 2 pieces of the side back like this, and I'm going to place them right side to the right side. And please, because of how this pattern is, you're likely to make a mistake joining them. You're likely to mistaking the top part of the side front as the down part. So please be careful while joining the back so you don't make mistake. Now this is the side front, and I reinforced my wording around the bust area. I notched the under bust also, and that's where the wording starts to up. Do you understand? And this is the center front, which I also reinforced my wording from the under bust to going to the top like that. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and place them right side to the right side, side front to the center front, and match up the under bust joining or notch. Then I'm going to join it like this. If you're not really good with curves and all of that, go ahead and join from the under bust to the top, then from the under bust to the side. That will be easier for you that way. But if you can just start from the top and sew it all the way to the side, and it will still come out right. Another thing that can help you is to just notch the under bust and also the waistline on both sides. That would help you match them up and sew it right. So after sewing and ironing, these are all that I came up with, and this is the front. After joining, I pressed open the same lines, and you can see what it's looking like. I repeated the same thing on the lining. After joining, I notched on all those curves, and that helps smoothing the curve, and you can see how flat it is after ironing. Then this is the back. I also press open the same lines, that's the that line like this. Now we are going to be joining this, and I'm going to match it up right side to the right side, and I'm going to just join it around the neckline. I'm going to repeat the same thing on this other side, place it right side to the right side, pin it down just to secure the fashion fabric and the lining. Then I'm going to just sew it round like this and sew the center back too. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the front. I'm going to match it up like this, then sew it around the neckline, and that's the only place I'll be sewing because of the kind of finishing I'm going for this tutorial. So I'm simply going to sew the neckline. Then for the back, I'll sew the neckline and the center back, and that's where I'll be sewing. But if you want to, you can sew on all the other side except the waistline. So after doing that and ironing, this is what I have, and you can tell that this is already coming out so well. Look at that bustier. I repeated the same thing with the back. I said I was going to sew the neckline and the center back. And now what I'm going to do is to join it on the shoulder. And I'm going to be matching up the joining I have both on the front and the back. That's like the stitch we have in between the red and the green fabric. I'm going to match them up, and once I match them up, I'm going to pin it, and you see that I'm pinning in between my seam line. That's where you secure it and it won't shift. Then I'm going to be using the other one to turn it like this and sew it, and repeat the same thing on the other side, just the same way you turn your shoulder. The only thing is that you're making sure that you are matching the joining. That's red to red, green to green. Do you get that? And this is also how you know that you sewed right, like you sewed with your added allowance. I have my 6 inches and I use 3 inches as my neck width on the pattern, and you can see how rounded the neckline is. So what I will be doing now is to just go ahead and do my final measurement. I'll be dividing my bust circumference by 2. I'll mark it, then measure what I have left, and I'm going to shade it on both sides. I won't be marking it because this is the right side of my fabric. Then I'll go to the waistline and repeat the same thing. The waist measurement divided by 2. I'll measure what I have left and shade it on both sides. So I'll be needing about 0.75 to sew it from top to down. Then I'm going to just trim it off like this before going to close it on the side. Please pin them down. I pinned it down on the joining I have. That's like the red and the green. I pinned them down or around the waist area, yeah, and then I trimmed it off. So after doing that, I'm going to also fold it like this and shed off where I need to shed off. And yeah, the next thing I'll be doing now is to go ahead and bring in this fabric, and it's in two folds, and I'm going to fold it again, making it 4 folds. Then I'm going to place it under this sleeve area. This is the sleeve opening, yeah. I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to be cutting it out because I want to use this to turn that part of the sleeve. Do you understand? So I have 2 pieces now for each side of the sleeve, and I'm going to be folding it into 2 again like this, and I'm going to open it up like this. This is the right side of my top, yeah. Then I'm going to place it right side to the right side like this. Then I will be sewing with 1/2 inch. After sewing, I'll top stitch and secure it on the inside just like this. I did the same thing on both sides, and you can see how it's coming out. The next thing I'll be doing now is to go ahead and close it on the side, and to do that, I'm going to be taking the front and the back, the fashion fabric of both front and back. I'll hold them together and match it up here on the end of the sleeve, and you're going to turn this the same way you usually turn your shoulder, anyhow you choose to do it. But yeah, if you want to just close the fashion fabric and then the lining separately, go ahead and do it. But after doing this, this is what I have. And before turning it to the right side, I would advise that you go ahead and notch on that curved area to help it relax after ironing. But I'm doing this thing that you're seeing me do here, which I wouldn't advise that you try at home, because if you do this with all your strength, you're likely to tear your fabric. But yeah, I know I managed to do that and I didn't tear my fabric. So I'm going to measure around the waistline again to know how much I'll be closing the center back with, and I'll be closing with about 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do now is to get the midpoint of the waistline. This is the front part here. I'll get the midpoint, and then I'm going to bring in the fabric for the gathers. So what I'm going to do is to open it up like this, hold it in a two-fold like this. This is the two ends here. You're going to hold it together, make them equal, and then you're going to notch here, which will be the center front. That's like the midpoint of the center front. Then I'll fold it again and notch here too. This will be going to the side seam. Do you understand? And now I'm going to open it up this way, and I'm going to place it like this. This is the center front, and what I'll be doing now is to come down from the waistline. I'll be coming down to 1.5. We extended the waistline by 2.5. Yeah, you'll be marking 1.5 here to blend it in so that it won't be dropping around that part. Then you're going to give it that same curve you have on the top part of your waistline. Yeah, you're going to give it that curve, and then you're going to cut it out like this. After that, you're going to notch again to indicate the midpoint, and now I'm going to be placing it like this, match up the midpoint to the midpoint, pin it down. Then I'll go to the next notch and match it up with the side seam and pin it down. Then the other end will be going to the center back. That's how you're going to do it on the other side too. You pin it down here, and you already know I like to gather as I go. If you're someone who likes to gather first before you sew it to the base, go ahead and do the same thing. But having those notches will help you have the uniform pleats or gathers afterwards. But what I'll be doing now is to go to my sewing machine, and I will be gathering like this. just soft pleats here, and I'll make sure I exhaust all this fabric just right on the side seam. And I'm going to just start from that side seam and exhaust all this fabric just right on the center front, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Once you're done, you're going to check if you're comfortable with the bulkiness of the waistline. Otherwise, you will need to also use your lining. So I'm going to be joining this now, and I said I'll be joining that in a way that the selvage won't be visible afterwards. So after doing all of that, this is what it's looking like. This is the waistline, and you can see that it's not as bulky as the gathers usually is. Do you understand? So what I'm going to do is to place it like this in a way. This is the waistline, yeah, in a way that the top part or the bustier part is the one facing you. Then I'm going to bring in my lining, which is just 1 yard, and I share that into two. That's like 18 inches. I cut that in 18 inches into two, then join them, and that's why it is this long. Then I went ahead to also notch it the same way I notched on the fashion fabric. Now I'm going to be matching up those notches. First, this is the side seam, yeah. Then I'm going to match this other end on the center back, and I'm going to repeat the same way I gather the fashion fabric. It's the same way I will be gathering this. I will exhaust all this fabric here just right on the side seam. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing from the side seam to the center front and on the other side. Once you're done, you're going to close the center back, fix your zipper, and give it the final press. And once I was done doing all of that, this is what the inside of my dress is looking like. This is the front part, and you can tell that, yeah, this is super, super neat in and out. And turning your lining like this would help finish up the waistline nicely, and it will even make it more comfortable around your waistline. So I fixed my zipper and I gave it the final press, and you can see what the down part is looking like. And that's pretty much about it for this particular dress. And because of how much I love this design, I had to make the shorter one. And this one is not bustier, but I contoured the under bust. I didn't even use interface, just the fashion fabric and the lining. And I didn't also use lining on the waistline. But then I changed the neckline and I used the same concept we have on the front, on the back too. And you can see how beautiful it came out. I also added pockets. So yeah, let me know which one do you prefer, the shorter one or this longer one that we just finished the tutorial. But yeah, that's just how you go about this particular design. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful, and if you do, let me know in the comments, and I hope you'll be trying this. If you do, let me also know how it came out. So yeah, that will be the end of our tutorial today. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll be seeing you on my next one. Be good. Bye.